and welcome to Mental Training 30. My name is Lindsay Wilson, a high performance coach and co-founder of Positive Performance Mental Training. Remember, every day this month, I'm going to be giving away a free tip, tool, or technique that you can take and use with your athletes to develop the mental toughness I know that you want. Today, I want to talk about how to teach visualization to younger athletes. So I get this question a lot, and I will really want to just encourage you and remind you that the research shows that really this stuff can be taught to any age. And I know that even more now as a parent because I read a lot of books about how to teach this stuff to really young kids. My daughter's 1.5 years, and truly you can teach within reason certain things to even that age. So let's talk about in particular how to teach visualization, because I think that's a really great way to start with younger athletes. And by the way, this is applicable to even older athletes, especially if it's the first time that they've learned visualization. So let me just talk about a couple principles that I have when I teach younger athletes. So the first thing that I want you to pay attention to is really making this fun. And one of the ways that you can do that is really watching the verbiage that you use. In other words, I wouldn't say, hey guys, today I'm going to teach you something that's really hard and it's called visualization. Don't do that. What I would say to younger athletes is we're going to play a really fun game with our mind, and it's sort of like playing pretend. And I want you to just imagine some things. And we're going to do it when you're going to close your eyes, and it's like playing pretend. It's like you get to make up your own movie in your head. You see how that's very different than like, we're going to do mental training today, and oh my God, it's going to be really hard. So using the word pretend, imagine, making a movie in your mind, those are all words that they're going to understand, probably even better than we do because they're, closer to the age where you're playing a lot of pretend anyway. Another simple way to do it is say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we have a GoPro, if they're old enough to understand what a GoPro is, on our forehead. Or we have a camera on our forehead. And we're just going to play some games with our mind with that. I would encourage them to bring in other senses. So if you're taking them through a visualization exercise or you're letting them visualize on their own, I would say, you know what? Feel what you would feel. Are you happy? Are you proud? What is, for instance, what does the ball feel like in your hands? Is it hard? Is it rough? Is it soft? Really take them through all the different senses, because some of your athletes are not going to be visualizing super great. And that's true for all of us. Some of us feel or smell or hear better than we see with our eyes from a visualization standpoint. So visualization talks about visualizing, but it's really about imagining the experience as a whole. And for all of us, bringing in senses is really important. Okay. So once you sort of lay the right framework for them, a couple other things for when you get into it. So I would start with really simple things. So you can even say, let's imagine what you want for dinner. Imagine that you get to eat your favorite food for dinner, and take them through that exercise. Because that's going to be something that's kind of a low barrier. They're all going to know what their favorite food is. And then you can graduate to things like, what does it feel like to have an orange in your hand? Or what does it feel like to have a softball in your hand? And again, take them through that. Do you see the stitching on it? And take them through things that are, again, unintimidating, that they can imagine. And then again, this is just a practice, right? This is just getting them used to this experience. Then you can move into imagining their best games or their best performances. And again, we want this to be fun. So we want to go first with their best and have them replay that. Then you can do some progressively more difficult things. So I'll say with the softball theme, imagine what it's like to grip the bat, and imagine what it feels like. Imagine what you see when the ball's coming towards you. Imagine what it feels like. You smell the dirt, and like taking them through that experience. So then it's getting to be more sport specific, but again, it's like a gradual progressive thing. And then you can take them into imagining or pretending, the next game, for example. So you really want to start fun. You want to create that sense that it's something they've already done before, that it's more like a game. It's playing pretend or imagining. And again, this is not just for young kids. You can use this verbiage for older kids too, or any of us, because it's just a good way for us to think about visualizing. And it takes, I think, some of the, I don't want to say stigma, but some of like the pressure of like, oh my God, we're visualizing, instead of like, just play a movie in your mind. it's really not that hard. Just do it. And throughout all this, and I'll say this again at the end, is you want to lower the expectations as far as like, this has to be right, because some of your athletes are going to bring that anyway, especially as they get older. That perfectionist, that's one of the barriers to visualization, is people are like, oh, I can't see it, I'm doing it wrong, and everybody else is doing it right. And so removing the barriers and saying, you know what, your mind's going to wander. The point is not to be perfect. There's no test on this. It's just something that you're going to get better at, just like any skill that we teach you. Okay, so let me just recap real quick. I'll try to put them in the notes as two is watch your verbiage, how you set it up. We really want it to be fun. Watch your words. So imagine, pretend, making a movie is great. Have them bring in other senses. Pretending like you have a GoPro or a camera on your forehead is good. Start with simple things. So imagining what they want for dinner and their favorite food. Then imagining what it's like to hold an orange or a softball. Then you can go into more difficult things like imagining what it's like to swing the bat, and then imagining what it's like to actually play or race in competition. And as always, just remind them that this is fun. There's no test. It's something that they'll get better at. And I just want to encourage you that all athletes can benefit from visualization. I learned about visualization when I was 11 years old. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that it was really cool. We did it after workouts and it felt really good. So you never know what you teach now, what that's going to plant in them, and it's going to grow and give them that strength that they need to really be resilient in their life. So whatever age you're coaching, I really encourage you to start with this. Comments, questions, thoughts, anything below. I would love to hear if you've implemented any visualization with your athletes and what age, any tips that you have for other coaches, things that have worked, things that haven't worked. Let's get the conversation going below about teaching visualization. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.